Hello and welcome back to Where the Demon Lurks. We will be continuing Morris's route. So, last, they were attacked by a demon, I believe, and something happened with Morris where, in order to defeat the demon, he had to, let loose his inner power, which turns out to be demonic. So that demonic power turned him into basically like a boar demon who promptly dispatched the demon and then left. But prior to that, I believe Lucian was trying to attack him, so that's actually why he left. So yeah. Anywho, so we're about to find out, more about that, I'm assuming, and possibly maybe Kobu helping him calm down or something? I don't know. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, let us continue Where the Demon Lurks, Morris round. Vendrick massages his forehead. The number of torture demons slipping up at work vexes him. He ponders why such issues are on the rise. It seems the sickness that is Kobu's leadership has deeper roots than I imagined. No matter, in time these demons will learn to reach their full potential again. Perhaps a regular dose of the company theme song will lift their spirits. Vendrick writes down a note to schedule blasting the music throughout the underworld, confident in the corporate's ditty morale-boosting qualities. As Vendrick is lost in his notebook, a pool of dark blood bubbles out onto the office floor. Astronaut emerges, propped up on his knees and gasping for air. The gashes from Morris's claws remain open, the demon's flesh attempting to reform, but continually burning away at the wound. What? Vendrick hastily moves out from his desk and rushes to his employee. The bull demon recites an ancient spell. He holds his subordinate's shoulders and eases Astaroth's pain enough for the demon to utter a few words. How did Kobu do this? No. Astaroth gasps for air. Another demon. A demon? Who among us is aiding Kobu? Astaroth shakes his head. Not one of us. Half mortal. Vendrick's eyes widen. How? The freelancer demon coughs violently. Despite his power, the damage Astaroth has taken is too much for Vendrick to hold back. That will do, Astaroth. Recuperate. Vendrick snaps his fingers and a portal forms below the demon, taking it to the healing ward. Nox! Nox arrives through another portal on command, as if he had been anticipating his call. Yes, my lord? Once Astaroth recovers, find out more on this half-mortal, half-demon character. A half-demon mortal? That's not possible. It very much is. Search the registry for any who match the description given by Astaroth. We don't have such a registry, my lord. Why not? I've foreseen something like this happening 100 years ago. I distinctly recall proposing one. Yes, you did propose such a registry, but Kobu and his father both failed to see the need and rejected the idea. Vendrick growls. Then find out who this troublemaker is and get started on that registry. Nox sighs. Yes, my lord. Kobu was acquiring a potentially dangerous ally. If they were able to hurt one of our demons like that. Warn the other freelancers of this threat, and I want whoever arrives next to investigate that town. Something is amiss. The lone coffee machine on the desktop counter beeps. It whirls to life and begins brewing the next batch of coffee for its demon masters. The clacking of the door lock opening announces someone's arrival. Amar steps through, waving his many hands in the air. Hello, mortal. Yark! King leaps out from beneath a table, swinging the broom. His weapon hits the demon with a loud thwack, striking the lynx's cheek. However, the demon stands there, unflinching. King puts the broom down, his burst of courage quickly turning into guilt. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I meant to knock you out. Damage dealt is about 1 point of 2,000 health points. Fascinating data. Wait, I think your cheek is red. Is there a first aid kit here? Your concern is unnecessary, mortal. I've had worse. He reveals his right arm to the alpaca. Gold veins run down his dark, lanky arms, like long cracks from an old and damaged vase. Hey, what's the holdup? The booming voice of the second general emanates from beyond the doorway. Fortis's intimidating stature steps through the door with a box of metal pieces in his arms. He's quick to lock the door behind him. Why are you holding up a broom? He was just showing me his amazing swinging skills. The lynx says with much glee in his voice. Sure he did. Better get used to just staying here. The doors are locked and you ain't about to break them down. I know. The alpaca rubs his arms, his eyes darting away. He focuses on a box in the corner that rests beneath a pile of broken forks, knives, and disused appliances. Amari, take your box of junk. I've got to get this fellow's reading material and settle an issue in my torture zone. The dog demon sets a box carefully on the floor. Thank you, Fortis, for doing all the heavy lifting. Keep your eye on this fellow, Amari. You don't know what he'll try to pull. Yes, yes. The feline shoos the demon dog away with his many arms. Fortis shakes his head disapprovingly and leaves through the pantry door. Finally, it's just the two of us now. As Amari approaches King, a pair of his floating hands rub together in a seemingly menacing fashion. King backs away slowly. What are you going to do with me? Amari licks his lips. His many hands extend from his back, ready to pounce. I'm going to enjoy every second of this. King's pupils dilate. Going to assemble the new food processor. Ooh, I just love a good assembly job. The lynx demon's translucent hands reach down for the box of parts and brings them to a nearby table. Oh, right. You mentioned that before. Phew, I thought you were going to do some weird tests on me. I will, right after I figure out how much that might tamper with your soul. Oh. Amari takes out various metal pieces and glowing gems from the box and begins to assemble them. He hums a joyful tune, his whole focus on the machine. King watches how the lynx works, tracking the floating hands as they screw parts together, a small flame erupting from the tip of each finger and proceeding to solder wires into place. As the demon works, the room starts to smell of burning metal. I know you're watching me, mortal. Sorry, I'm just impressed by how handy you are. Thanks for noticing. They're still far from being able to beat Fortis in an arm wrestling match, but I'll get there. No, I meant that you're good with machines. Of course, I was made with the very purpose of crafting tools and weapons. Even while he speaks to the alpaca, his translucent hands continue working. Would you mind getting me my drink in the fridge? I've been so busy finding these components that I haven't had time to grab anything from the pantry. Sure. The alpaca walks over to open the fridge. It's the bottle of the lemon soda in the top row, far back. King grabs what he thinks looks like lemon soda. The liquid inside is a deep yellow with bubbles rising up to the lid. Thank you. A pair of floating hands holding a blueprint set the paper down and grab the bottle. Okay, that's really cool. You said that you made those hands? That's incredible. Amari puffs out his chest. You haven't seen anything yet. The floating arms holding the drink tosses it back and forth with another arm. Amari picks up some gears and random tools that he has laying around and throws it behind him. Acting as if they have a mind of their own, the remaining pairs of arms drop what they're doing and catch the items. The appendages begin to juggle the things with little effort, catching and throwing each item with pinpoint precision. King claps enthusiastically. Thank you. You should see its earlier prototypes. Though clunkier and reliant on a remote to function, it was amazing that they did anything since I used scrap metal and whatever leftover parts I could find during the war. While the demon talks, his magical hands continue their juggling act. King wonders for a second if that's a wise thing to do with the fizzy drinks. I would definitely love to see that. Are you like an inventor demon? Not just an inventor, I am the General of Technologies and Weaponry, the underworld's most brilliant demon. A general? Like in an army? Yes, we command hordes of other demons under us. By hordes, how many are we talking about? Enough to guard and torture souls across the span of time. Wow, I'm struggling to picture so many demons taking orders from Kobu. We did, at one point in time. The hands stop their juggling act and return all the items except the fizzy soda. King catches a glimpse of the lynx biting his lips before continuing to assemble a device. Though the alpaca holding some doubt about getting too close to the demons, King can't help but sympathize with the demon's pained expression. Amari picks his head up and looks at King in the eyes. You're his friend on Earth, right? Tell me how he's doing. Before I came here, Kobu was healthy as can be. He was doing great work at the convenience store and we'd hang out on DD-14 whenever we could. The demon smiles. I'm glad, as long as he's out there. And there's hope still for this company. King looks around cautiously. Wait, is it okay for us to be talking about Kobu so openly? Won't your boss hear? He is a grumpy old fossil, always lamenting about the old days and has no respect whatsoever for my craft. King's gaze drifts. He notices the hands are now struggling to uncap the bottle. If he's all about how things were better back in the day, then why did he overthrow Kobu in the first place? It has always been the law of the underworld that the only being that can be the Demon Lord is the Demon Lord. The hands are violently shaking the bottle, slapping it left and right in their effort to open it. King half raises a finger to get the demon's attention, but Amari continues ranting. Worst of all, Vendrick had the balls to cut the funding for my lab. We didn't have all this technology during the previous Demon Lord's reign, and we did just fine. All your machines do is make the torturers lazy. The Lynx demon mockingly intimidates Vendrick's gruff voice. Well, before I came along, demons were still bashing souls with rocks, and I don't think anyone wants that. The hands bring the bottle to Amari's face. No, don't. Too late, the hands uncop the bottle, and the so-called lemon soda gushes out, dousing Amari in sticky, lemony sweetness. Rawr! The demon stumbles, swatting furiously at the torrent of soda. As the deluge fades, Amari stands there soaked, the fur on his face all clumped up and droopy. King bursts into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Here. The alpaca rushes to the counter with the coffee machine and grabs some paper towels. Amari is quick to take them and dry himself. Well, I better focus on my work. Also, memo to self to improve bottle opening function on the mystic arms. Another limb jots the memo down in the air before continuing to work. King returns to his seat and watches the demon at work. Finished? Whoa, it's a microwave? The food generating machine does indeed look like a regular electronic microwave, except that there are more buttons inscribed with odd symbols. It may resemble a household microwave, but instead of simply heating food, it generates the entire dish from its core components. Allow me to demonstrate. Amari punches 3 buttons and the machine whirls to life. King can see thick white smoke swirling behind the glass. In less than a minute, the microwave dings. Amari opens the door and pulls out a bag of chips. That's incredible! Amari opens the bag and grabs a chip and bites into it. Try one. It's safe, I assure you. It's like the materials on Earth. That does not assure King in the slightest, but he complies nonetheless. Okay, here goes. The alpaca snaps off a crumb of potato chip, bringing it up to his nose. It smells like a chip, but does it taste like a chip? Slowly, the alpaca puts the artificial morsel in his mouth and swallows. It's kind of bland. Isn't that how your chips usually are? King turns his head at the sound of the door opening in front of him. Fortress steps through with several books in hand. These are all the books that I could find. He walks over and places the books on an unoccupied chair. Fortis, come try these chips I generated. Fortis takes a bag and devours it in one bite. Could use some chili and peppers, but they taste like any other chip. King rests his hands on his hips. Hang on, let me try another. He takes a whole bag this time and eats it. It's flavorless and distinctly chewy. Nope, it's not that good. Tastes like I'm eating cardboard. Fine, let's generate something else. Observe, mortal, I'll teach you how to use the machine at the same time. King nods and follows along. After a brief explanation, Amari generates a plate of spaghetti bolognese. Looks fine to me. It's a taste that matters more. The alpaca grabs a few forks and washes them before handing them out. Okay, let's try it together. Each of them takes a bite of the generated meal. King winces. The bolognese sauce is bitter and the pasta overcooked to mush. The dish has the undesirable consistency of baby food. In contrast, the demon generals shrug to each other before frivolently slurping down the noodles. Honey, R.I.P. to your taste buds, if you think that's good. It tastes like most of what's in the underworld. That's terrible. How can you live like that? We're demons. Our bodies don't require material sustenance to maintain function. We just do it for recreational purposes. The only demon who cared about how food tastes was Kobu. What's up? Perhaps that's why he stopped using my machine. Look, this is unacceptable. Let me try some raw ingredients. King generates some tomatoes and carrots. He takes a bite out of each, nodding in approval of their tastes. Okay, so raw ingredients are fine. That means that the machine just can't handle creating a proper dish out of them. King heads for the cabinets where the pots, pans, and portable gas stoves are kept. Invigorated by his passion for cooking, King arranges the tools of the culinary trade on an unoccupied table. He then proceeds to generate a myriad of ingredients, spices, and condiments he knows by heart. King starts washing, prepping, and cooking the ingredients into his own spaghetti bolognese. All the while, the two demons sit far back, observing him, though Amari looks more keenly as he steals a few pictures and takes a few notes. Fascinating. Look at him go, and all because of a plate of flavored wheat. I don't get it. It's just fuel for the body. Perhaps there's something that we aren't getting. In almost no time at all, the pantry is filled with the aroma of simmering tomatoes. King makes two separate bolognese dishes, one that's vegetarian for himself and one with meat for the two demons. He plates the dishes and presents them upon the demon's table. Here you go, spaghetti bolognese. I use bacon strips instead of pancetta. Fortis and Amari bend over to look at the dish closely. The food's hot, steamy hands reach out to brush the demons' curious noses. Bon appetit! Let's see what all the fuss is about. Fortis sits back up and carries his plate by the edge, twisting his head from side to side as he observes the plate. I don't see what's so special about this. Yes, it looks very much like what the machine made, however, more palatable to the eye. Amari picks up his plate. I detect the smell of some kind of cheese. Parmigiano Reggiano. Well, at least I hope the machine was able to replicate that. Go on, you two. Eat it while it's hot. Fortis and Amari glance at each other, then back at the food. The two pick up their forks and take a bite out of the meal. This is delicious! It's like nothing that I've ever tasted before. The pasta is a bit firm, yet easy to chew. The tomato sauce is tangy, salty, and a little sweet. But then the bacon is hearty, and the oil brings the flavors of the dish together. None of those snacks Kobu asked for before ever reached this level of tastiness. I must know more. King, stuff me with your noodle. You guys are too kind. I made a lot, so dig in. As the demons eat, King turns his attention to his plate. Though he misses eating with Kobu, for now, this little moment is enough to keep him going. I'm so full. Meow. The demon sinks deep into his seat. Gentle purring noises emanate from his chest. I guess if it was good for mortal cooking. Just good. I remember someone demanding seconds, then thirds. That was just me confirming that there was nothing suspicious in it. I'll admit the food was decent, but the spices were weak. Excuse me? I use the same spices that I use back home. Yeah, I suppose by mortal standards it's good, but the spices that I make will kick your little tushy. King raises a curious eyebrow at the thought of spices made in the underworld. Well, I definitely do better if I was back in my own kitchen, on Earth. An idea comes to mind. King considers using this moment to strike up a bargain. How about this? Why don't you guys help me get home and I promise that I'll cook for you guys whenever you need it? I'm in. Amari raises his right hand. If it means that I can experience dishes mortals have been fighting over for past centuries, the pancake and the waffle? Fortress puts his hands on Amari's and forces the feline to lower it. You will do no such thing. Not only is it going against our orders, but I bet you don't have a single idea how to get him back on Earth without losing a limb or his life. Amari raises a finger. He opens his mouth, but no words come out. Exactly. Just do as you're told, Amari. There's no use in risking your job over this. But... King wishes that he could say something, but he fears making things harder for Amari. Fortress turns to King. You, no more talk of escaping. I suggest you get comfortable. Take your books and food, and go wild. You really think that I'll stop just because you tell me so? It's just friendly advice. The longer you try to fight, the greater the pain when you realize that you can't do anything about your situation. King sighs. There was some truth in the demon's words. The tension in the air is thick. No one is looking at each other. Fortress is the first to speak up. We should go. We have work to do. He yanks Amari by the collar of his shirt and throws the links over his shoulder. Wait. If we don't help, I won't get to study King's food. That's okay, Amari. I'll cook for you any time that you come by, even for you, Fortis. Yes, the research continues. The demon leaves through the pantry door, locking it from the other side. King turns his attention to the dishes littering the room. They could have at least stayed to clean up. He brings the mess to the nearby sink and begins scrubbing. His thoughts turn to his escape plan. Looking at the soapy plate in hand, his mind runs simulations on how he can escape, and they all lead back to the same idea, getting Fortis's key. A sudden realization then derails his train of thought. Wait, even if I get the key, where do I go? He sighs. No, there should still be a way. I just need to find out more about this place. He grips the dripping wet plate in his hands tightly. With one deep breath, he refocuses on his chores. Upon finishing the dishes, King pulls up a chair and looks through the pile of reading materials Fortis left for him. What are the chances that all the answers to my problems are in these magazines? Well, at the very least, it would be a decent distraction from all this stress. He pulls out a random magazine. Muscle Universe 1993. Oh, an article on the top 10 muscle-building tofu recipes. Don't mind if I do. You run, your lungs feeling like they will tear apart at any moment. You have to catch up to Morris. Your friend jumps from building to building throughout Kibbleton. You turn a corner, scrambling to catch sight of where he's going. Huh? A swarm of faceless shadows march towards you. Their forms seem unreal, waxing and waning out of existence. What happened here? Demons? Aliens? You look around, noticing some shadows upon leaving the range of the dark clouds, reverting back into regular people, none the wiser to what happened. A field that transforms people? Is this one of Morris's powers? Shit, I don't have time right now, but I have to stop this before it could get worse. You charge forth through the shadows before you, their intangible forms reshaping as if a cloud of smoke. Morris! The distance between you and Morris shows no sign of closing as he continues to leap from roof to roof. Power surges in the palm of your hand. A portal would give you a chance to halt his movement, but the risk of your identity being revealed is too high. Ah! What the? A brilliant streak of light soars through the sky, carrying Toast at its end. The arrow strikes Morris's shoulder with a thundering crack. Toast's head ricochets off Morris's back. It is sent flying who knows where. Rah! Morris falls into the alley in front of him. You stop and look back at where the shot was fired. On top of the roof, at least a kilometer away, you make out the faint outline of the angelic canine. Without time to spare, you run into the alley. Morris? The hulking beast is sitting on the ground, clutching its injured shoulder. Your legs quake, though you're not sure if it's from fear or exhaustion. He turns his head to you, his face twists into a hostile grimace. He rises and roars. Morris sinks his claws into the ground and slashes upwards. Hail of debris follow, and you dash behind a nearby dumpster. The metal screams as it's hit with the brunt of whatever rock comes its way. Ah! Just as you open your eyes, a shower of rocky projectiles and dirt mash into pieces against the wall beside you. Morris, stop! It's me! Please listen to me. I'm here to help you. Help, okay? You squint as you watch him raise one of his hands up, his claws glowing red. He growls as his shoulder is shocked by bright sparks. Morris brings his hand down, releasing streaks of red energy flying towards you. You tense, hold your breath, and get ready to dodge. But your tired body barely reacts fast enough. Red streaks of light arc upwards and explode above your head. What was that? A warning shot? You both lock eyes, staring long and deep into each other without saying a word. Slowly, you hold out both arms in surrender and call out in a shaky voice. Morris, please. I won't hurt you. You point to his shoulder. That hurts, right? I can fix it. I don't know how, but you have to let me help, please. You inch closer to him. The sparks continue to make his shoulder twinge, but the rest of his body is frozen in place. Morris, let me help you. Your eyes remain fixed upon his gaze. Behind the seething anger is fear. You hold out both of your hands. Look, it's me, Kobu. Morris grunts. You know me, remember? We had pizza night. And that night we exercised the house. And we had that awesome beef bowl. You stop, standing inches away from him. That arrow hurt you, right? We can figure it out. We'll find a way to undo it. He looks at you in silence. You open your arms, your heart is pounding in your ears, but you choose to stand strong for Morris. Morris, I'm here for you. Your every sense is waiting for the demon boar's next action. He approaches and your stomach tightens. Morris leans in and sniffs your neck. His breath is warm, but you don't register it as hostility, nor do you think he's going to take a generous bite. You slowly raise your hands to touch his face. There's a whiff of roasted pork coming from him. Your fingers glide through his short, bristly fur, though it's coarse and disheveled, a sharp contrast to his prim and proper self. A sliver of familiarity remains that comforts you. You gently pull him back, and as your eyes meet for a brief second, you think that you see the demon in you reflected in the radiant gold of his eyes. An image that shakes you to your very core. Could he perhaps see through your facade, the person that you denounced all those years ago? Does he know who you truly are? He lets go of his injured arm. You blink. Your attention returns to Morris. Mustering what little courage is left, your arms wrap around his neck as you embrace him. Morris returns your gesture with sharp guttural grunts, snorts, and shudders, as though he's never faced anything more terrifying. You refuse to let go. It's going to be okay, Morris. It's going to be okay. Your hands begin to stroke near his shoulder, careful to avoid his injury. You hope that it takes his mind off the pain, even just for a little bit. Shh. Shh. It's safe now. You keep your hold onto him, unsure of what to do next. For now, all you wish is for Morris to be alright. Golden light suddenly envelops his body, and he's radiating a comforting heat. Huh? Morris? Wait, what happened? Where's the B button on this? Panic grips you as your friend shrinks within your arms. Morris? In seconds, his form reverts back to his original state, and the glow fades away. He stands inches away from you. He falls forward, but you catch him in time. Kobu. His eyes are closed, but you breathe a sigh of relief upon seeing the rise and fall of his chest. The injury on his shoulder is also no more. Thank God you're all right. Hugging him, you feel the sun's ray tickle your cheeks. The weather has changed with Morris's transformation. The magic field that turned people into shadows dissipates along with it. Looking at his sleeping face, you whisper to yourself, "You're such a handful." Hey! Huh? Toast descends from the sky. Cool, you got the big guy to calm down. I don't know if it was me. I mean, it happened somehow. Was taking his pants off part of the process? Pants? What? You look behind you. Morris's pants lie separate from his body. You snatch the pants and turn back to Toast, with a look of utter shock, but before you can explain yourself, you hear footsteps rushing towards you. Lucian appears from behind. Kobu, are you alright? Lucian, I'm fine. You took your time getting here. That's because you had a good head start. Honestly, why did I believe strapping you to the arrow was going to make it fly any better? It did. I so made sure it hit him. Also, he points at Morris. Was stripping him really necessary to revert his transformation, Kobu? I didn't strip him. Now can we please just take him to a hospital? Hold on, I can check his condition. Lucian approaches Morris and summons a feather in one hand. You know, if you keep plucking your feathers, your wings are going to go bald. Lucian scoffs as a hyena snickers. The angel runs the feather along Morris's body. His eyes never blink during the process. His physical condition is fine, but I can sense that a large chunk of his soul energy has been drained. That's dangerous. If it was fully depleted, then yes, but there's sparks of it remaining. He'll recover with some rest. A loud crack distracts all of you. Right above Morris, a tear opens up, much like your portal, and out comes a briefcase. It falls with a loud thunk beside Morris. Free stuff. Think that there's cash in there? No, I think... You look at Morris, then back at the briefcase. I think it's Morris's. Lucian brings the briefcase closer to you and opens it. Inside is a shirt, a pair of gray pants, and an envelope. The envelope is emblazoned with the words, "To whom it may concern." You grab the envelope, its side bulges slightly. You open it and your fingers brush against a few $100 bills and a letter. To whom it may concern. If you are reading this, I am the unconscious boar near you. Do not be alarmed. I have a condition that causes me to lose consciousness for a while. With this letter, I enclose some money that is yours to keep. All I ask is that you leave my body be and I'll be on my way when I wake up. Thanks in advance, Morris. P.S. If you could keep my body away from bad weather, that would be much appreciated. I don't know what's more insane, the fact that he wrote an instructional letter to whomever sorry sap finds him, or that he actually expected it to work. The implication of this letter weighs heavily on your heart. Let's not waste any more time. We gotta take him somewhere safe. Why can't we just take the money and leave him here? He says that it would be fine. No, we are not leaving him. He just sucks at asking for help, I think. Let's take him to your place, Kobu. But isn't a hospital better? Like, they have all those machines that go beep and that bag that keeps you alive when you can't eat. Any mortal doctor wouldn't find anything wrong with him. It's a waste of time. Lucian crouches down and then grunts daintily as he throws a boar over his shoulder. I'll fly him to Kobu's house. You carry his briefcase. You nod. I'm coming with. Lucian throws a dirty look at the ghost. You dare to gamble with my patience. I've got nothing better to do. I hit a dead end looking for Archon's jacket. Besides, it's Kobu's place, and you don't get to tell me if I can come or not. I don't mind. Toast's mostly harmless. Hey, these guns are anything but harmless. He flexes his arms, but you pay him no heed. Lucian sighs and takes off while you and Toast trek in on foot to your apartment. After arriving at your place, you had Lucian lay Morris down on your mattress in the living room. You tuck him into your blanket. He looks peaceful when he's sleeping. What if he doesn't wake up? Exhausted, you slump on the floor next to Morris. Lucian and Toast join you. You alright there, buddy? Yeah, this is just a lot to process. You press your forehead as you think. All sorts of questions fill your mind. You don't even know where to begin. The ghost places his cold, transparent hand on your head. He attempts to pat you, but all you feel is a cold sensation brushing against your hair. He will make it through. Just have patience. Yeah, guess that's the most important thing. I'm just so tired from today. There's a brief moment of silence. So, about my plan to get you to the underworld. Lucian, no. He groans but quickly coughs to mask it. Come now, he is out of commission. And he is harboring demonic powers that he can't control. What good would he be against Vendrick? He's still a capable exorcist. I'm not giving up on him before he and I talk it out. This goes against all logic. You're also violating both of our company's rules. Do you want me to get a demotion? Lucian, this is more than just a way to keep your job. Have a heart. I have one, and it's perfectly healthy. Then you think about Morris too. Yeah, you can't just give up on bro. That's not cool. You gotta have each other's backs. That's why Archon trusts me with his job. Your missing clothing is hardly comparable. Lives are on the line. Well, Morris's feelings matter too. I ain't his #1 fan, but I know that I would hate it if I woke up and found out that I got left behind. Your pity is wasted on him. Didn't he try to exercise you before? Happens to the best of bros. He's a little uppity, like you, but I know he's good enough to look after Kobu, and I can respect that. He grins and shoots you a pair of finger guns. Kinda like you. Lose the attitude, and we can all be bros. He gives Lucian a pair of middle fingers. The angel cocks an eyebrow. Bros? Lucian's tail wags a little until he grabs a hold of it. Preposterous. Did a boulder smack you on the head when you were leaving the underworld? Because I never signed up to be a part of some eclectic troupe. Toast dips his head and holds out a hand against his chest dramatically, as though he's been dealt devastating news. Hermano, ¿puedes creer esto? He doesn't want to be a part of our family. I heard that this is what happens to boys that didn't get the toys that they wanted as children. It's so sad. Stop talking about me like I was some unloved puppy. Morris grumbles in his sleep. You and Toast simultaneously put a finger to your lips to tell the angel to shush. Lucian quickly covers his mouth. After a short chuckle, you let the decision be known. Anyways, Lucian, I'm sticking with Morris's plan. We've already started working with the gang. It caused more problems to pull out now. I've thought this through. This is the best way to reach King. Lucian flicks his head back in annoyance. Fine then. I suppose you could do worse. At the very least, I'll stick around and make sure the job is done. Hell yeah! I'm into, but after I'm done helping Archon. Which reminds me, I gotta get back to searching. If you see any of them cold people with a black leather jacket, grab it for me. We'll keep an eye out for it then. Won't we, Lucian? Lucian grumbles something under his breath, but Toast doesn't seem to notice. Adios, compadre. He floats up and leaves through the ceiling. Can we talk outside? Sure. You follow him onto the balcony of your apartment. The air is perfectly still and you can hear the crows cawing nearby. What's on your mind? Lucian purses his lips. Just a little matter of when you are going to tell Morris you're the Demon Lord. A little half-past never sounds good. Be serious. It's only a matter of time before he knows. He's half-demon. Surely he would understand. Right. The guy who concealed the fact that he's half-demon is going to be over the moon knowing he's helping another demon. Well, don't expect me to deceive him. It's one thing for a demon to lie, but an angel? Unspeakable. You lean against the balcony's guardrail and look intently into Lucian's eyes. For a moment, no words are exchanged. You consider Lucian's demands and search for a way to avoid committing to the truth. What's there to lie about? Your mission was to come and bring the Demon Lord back to the underworld. As far as you are concerned, I'm no Demon Lord. Not one now, barely one before, and I doubt ever would be again. So you're still looking. If you think semantics will sway me, it's a fact. My father ran a kingdom, empowered the demons, and upheld order between up above and the underworld. You let out a dry laugh. What do I have to show for myself? Oh, I know. My impulsive plans. Ones that desecrated the history of the underworld, let souls come back to life. And who could forget being such a miserable leader that I became the first Demon Lord to be kicked out? Lucian frowns and grits his teeth. You're being emotional. It couldn't have possibly been as bad as you're making it out to be. Well, it was. I'll tell you the same thing that I told my father. I'm not the right person for this job. I don't have my father's foresight or his amazing prowess. All I've done is just prove how much of a failure I am compared to him. Can you even understand how I feel, being a loser at the one thing that I was raised to do? You think I'm still Demon Lord? You're really making me work for my promotion. But you know what? Maybe you're right. When I took this job, I thought that I was going to help some savant trickster, a ruler over the darkness, whose powers rival Lord Gary's. Instead, I met an actor, less of a demon, far less than a mortal. There is no Demon Lord here. If words were knives, your heart would have been shanked. The two of you exchanged uncertain glances. I should go on patrol. Let's save this conversation for later. You hang your head low. Sure. The angel climbs onto the guardrail and soars away out of sight. You return to your apartment and slump yourself on your mattress. That night, hours tick away as you rewatch videos of old TV shows on your phone, but the only thing replaying in your head are all the mistakes that you've made up to this point. Sleep evades you that night as tears streak down your face. The next morning, Morris is still unconscious. You try to wake him by first shaking him softly. Then you shake him more aggressively, but to no response. You decide to give up on trying to wake him and go to work. You half expected to see Lucian outside, but he's not there. There is no Demon Lord here. You shake your head, forcing the thought away. Gotta focus. Wake up Morris and find King. At work, you're terribly distracted by the thoughts about Morris. Wait a minute. He's unconscious, but he still needs to eat. How do I feed an unconscious person? A line forms at the counter. There's also the matter of hygiene. How am I supposed to bathe him anyways? Would doing that be considered a violation of his personal space? Excuse me? Not to mention, does he really remember anything that happened? He wasn't like himself at all back then. Excuse me, princess? The customer slams the basket of goods on the counter, snapping you out of your rumination. The rest of your workday is not very productive, to say the least. After work, you use the money Morris provided to purchase a bunch of jelly drinks, some snacks, and toiletries to care for the boar. Upon reaching your apartment door, Lucian swoops down and sits casually upon the nearby handrail. There you are. Where have you been since yesterday? I thought that it would have been better if you saw less of me for a while. I kept watch, of course. No, it's okay. I'm sorry for dumping all of that on you. My feelings about my old life are complicated. The only thing that I know for sure is that I want to bring my friend back. Right, but that would be a suitable thing to focus on. You feel some warmth rush to your cheeks. You're glad that you didn't miss up things with Lucian. You both enter your apartment. He's still asleep. Not even an earthquake could wake him. You approach Morris and Toast's head pops out of the ceiling. Hola! You put on a forced smile as if to not worry the ghost. Hi, Toast. You again. Weren't you on a quest to find a jacket? I was. The three of you sit around Morris like you could around a campfire. Oh, what you got there? Sweets? He grabs the bag that you brought from the store and pulls out one of the jelly drinks. It's food and toiletries for Morris. I'd figured that I'd need to feed him. Nah, dog. I don't think you can just put food in him. Trust me, I've been in and out of hospitals. They usually put one tube in your mouth. Then another. Where am I gonna get that? You won't need all that. You just need one of my feathers. My healing is multiple purpose. It sates the user and even alleviates exhaustion. That's handy. You're like a walking ambulance. Lucian sticks out his chest. But of course, for an angel of my caliber, treating physical wounds and providing basic needs is nothing. He conjures a feather and delicately sets it upon Morris's forehead, like a waiter presenting the most delicate meal. You take the remaining drinks and pass one to Lucian. He raises an eyebrow at the gesture. Have one. I don't want to waste it. If I must. The three of you take a drink, worrying that some of the jelly might phase through Toast and fall onto the floor. You head to the kitchen to grab a towel. Excuse me. You plop the towel right under where Toast's butt would be. Just, sit on that if you're gonna drink. Toast nods and does as commanded. Lucian tentatively sniffs the mouth of the drink bag before closing his eyes and taking a big gulp of it. His whole body shudders. It's cold, and tastes like grapes. It barely tastes like orange for me. Ghost senses can't be helped. How'd your jacket hunt go? Toast stares down at his drink. Not a black jacket in sight. Heck, seems like all them cultists up and disappeared from the town. Disappeared? Yeah, not a trace left behind. That's weird, right? Should we be concerned about this? You think that gang that you started working with had anything to do with it? You seem to recall Gin mentioning how the cultists are troubling them. Maybe. If they ice them all, that means that the jacket is with the gang. I can check them out. No, don't. The two look at you confused. You bite your bottom lip, recalling Morris's concern over talking about the gang. They're bad news. Just keep away, okay? Whatever you do, both of you, don't approach the gang's territory unless I say so. Leave it to me and Morris to handle them. I've been in a gang before. They ain't that bad. Can't be that different from when I was alive. Trust me, they're different. I wish that I could tell you more, but I can't. So please, both of you, trust me and stay away. They look at you with a mixture of worry and confusion. They know that you're hiding something from them. But what you know about mythical creatures has you more worried than your friends are. You can't let the gang suspect that you've let their secrets be known. You let out a big sigh and the three of you drink in silence. This jelly thing makes me want to get some pudding. Pudding? It's a soft, bouncy dessert. The ones here are usually made of eggs and drizzled with caramel. Add some whipped cream and you'll know true joy after a bite. Lucian and Toast gulp. At least that's what my first pudding was like. Egg pudding? I never had that. Let's get one. It's dinner time. But dude, you're just gonna waste it. Just one bite then. Come on. Oh, please, 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 please. Alright, fine. I'll order dinner after my shower. Lucian, do you want anything? Lucian chuckles and looks at you with an aloof smile. I guess not. Actually, I was going to propose that I should, give this pudding a try. For, research purposes. You chortle at the angel. Alright. See you guys after my shower. Watch over Toast for me. Hey. Let's draw something on Bacon's face. He'll be so surprised when he wakes up. The hyena guffles. Ugh, you. That's actually where I'm going to leave it for today. So, a lot of interesting things happened. We got to see a little bit of a different scene between King and the demons. King basically did the whole thing with the spaghetti again. I guess showing them that's better to, I guess, cook with your hands or whatever. But the interactions were a little different, and I kind of noticed that was it Toast's or Lucian's route? I forget which one it was, but when they have that interaction, Nox is there, and he's having like conflicting feelings and stuff, and he seems to have like a little revelation after having the spaghetti. And in this version on Morris's route, there isn't any like interaction with Nox. Instead, the sort of special interaction, I guess, happens with Amari. Kind of. So yeah. It also kind of looks like King is trying to be a little bit more proactive about trying to figure out how to get out of the underworld, or at least out of the kitchen area, the demon's lunchroom, if you will. What else? Then we have what would happen here, like this scene. Kobu was able to talk the demon Morris down, and apparently this was something that was supposed to be super dangerous, but like, yeah, he was able to bring him out of his demonic state. But apparently he is sleeping right now because his soul energy, his human soul energy right now is very low. What else? He's probably gonna wake up soon. I don't know. Kobu's probably gonna have to give him a bird bath, which is when it's basically another word for a sponge bath. When you cannot use a tub, you wash yourself in a sink with a sponge. Gonna have to give him a sponge bath. Clearly Kobu is very concerned about what's gonna happen to him, even though Lucian is like, don't worry about it. He'll wake up eventually. Here, use one of my feathers in order to basically keep him alive. The life support feather, which kind of seems like an interesting thing to bring up, which may be Lucian's role, perhaps in this group of 4 characters trying to sneak back into the underworld. Lucian can help heal, Morris can, I guess, use magic, and Toast can do ghostings, possessions. I wonder if he can possess a demon. Anyways, but yeah, so write down in the comments what you think so far of this update for Morris's route, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Where the Demon Lurks yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download the game and play it. And I will also be posting down a link for their Patreon where you can support the project and get early access to builds of Where the Demon Lurks and whatever else they might offer. And they do have merch from Popcorn Press. They have like the keychains for, I think it's for Morris, Lucian, and Toast. And they do have a Discord in case you want to join their Discord and discuss the visual novel there. So yeah, there's that. And I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.